Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Ayush Kumar Singh. I am a legal intern in Lexis and Company. So today we are going to take an overview on the Trade Union Act 1926. The Trade Union Act was passed in 1926 under the title of the Indian Trade Union Act and was brought into effect from 1st June 1927 by the notification of the official gazette by the central government. The Act was amended in 1947, 1960 and 1962, and substantively the word India was deleted from the Amendment Act of 1964, which came into focus on 1st April 1965. The Comprehensive Trade Union Amendment Act was passed in 1980 and 2. So, the objective of the Act. The Act enacted with the object of providing for the registration of trade union and verifying the membership of trade union so that they might acquire a legal and corporate status. As soon as the trade union is registered, it is treated as an artificial person in the eyes of law and is also capable of enjoying all the rights. So, moving on the definition, Section 2H of the Trade Union Act 1926 defines the term trade union as any combination, whether temporary or permanent, formed primarily or for the purpose of regulating the relation between workmen and employers, between workmen, or between employers and employers, or for imposing restrictive condition on the conduct of any trade or business, and includes any federation of two or more trade unions. So now let's have a look on functioning and role of trade union. Basically, it was enacted to improve the working and living condition, to secure the workers' fair wages, to enlarge opportunities for promotion and training, to promote individual and collective welfare, to provide for educational, cultural, and recreational facilities, to safeguard security of tenure and improve condition of service, to promote identity of interest of the workers with their industries. So, forming and registration of a trade union. Section 4 to Section 9 deals with the procedure of registration of a trade union. According to Section 4, Clause 1 of Trade Union Act, provides the mode of registration. Any 7 or more member of a trade union may apply for registration. All the member applying for registration must subscribe their name to the rule of the trade union. And now Section 5 gives the procedure of application of registration. The application of registration should be made to the registrar for the trade union and which should contain the name, occupation and address of the member, the name of the trade union and the address of its head office, the title, name, age, address and occupation of office bearer of the trade union. So now Section 6 provides the contents of the copy of rule. The application should be accomplished with a copy of rule of the trade union, and it should contain the name of the trade union, the whole of the object for which the trade union has been enacted, the whole of the purpose for which general fund of a trade union shall be applicable, and the payment of subscription of members of the trade union, which shall not be less than 1 rupee per annum for rural workers, 3 rupee per annum for organized sector, and 12 rupee per annum for workers in any other cases. When the application of registration is filed before the registrar, he had got the power to call further particulars regarding the trade union. And if all that is required of the act has been completed with, the registrar of the trade union shall register the trade union and issue a certificate of registration. Now, registered trade union is defined under Section 2, Clause E. The trade union which is registered as per the provisions under the Trade Union Act 1926 which have a certificate of registration is called the registered trade union. So lastly, trade union funds. Trade union raises their funds through general funds and separate funds. Now, what is general funds? According to section 15 of the Act, it provides certain restraints against expenditures out of the general fund of registered trade union. It lays down that the general fund of a registered trade union shall not be spent on any other objects than the following, namely the payment of salary, allowances and expenses of the officer bearer of the trade union, the payment of expenses for administration of trade union including audit of accounts and general funds. Fourth, allowances and compensation of members for loss arising out of trade union. And fifth, provisions for educational, social or religious benefit of the members or for the dependent of the members. So section 16 defines separate fund. The trade union has made suitable provisions for continuation of separate funds for political purpose. The act empowers a registered trade union to continue a separate fund for contribution separately leaved for that fund. Out of this fund, payment may be made for promotion of the political interest of any member in order to promote the political objects, but the general fund should not be utilized for the political purpose. So I hope you find the video informative. So please like, share and subscribe.